to ask Mr. Clerk to please conduct roll call so we may begin.
Mayor Joseph,
Here.
Councilman Galvin,
Here.
Vice Mayor Keys, Councilman Bieneme, Councilman Zume. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We are going to stand up. The first thing we are going to do is to observe a moment of silence in honor of John Pastorella, who passed away, I believe, 2 days ago. If I'm not mistaken, his wife is in the audience. He's one of the Hall of Famer from the city of North Miami from the 1990s. He's 1992, so his picture, his plaque is actually on the wall on the second floor. If you go out, you will see him. So this is his wife. Thank you very much for sharing the information with us. And we are going to, had it not been too late, we would have prepared the proclamation in this situation. But I think the city manager, I don't know, maybe the next meeting will be calling and inviting you to come and receive a proclamation in that respect. Yeah. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll ask Officer Emmanuel Ocean to please come forward from the North Miami PD to lead us in Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your right hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We will proceed with invocation by Pastor Innocent Joseph from Philadelphia, from EV, Philadelphia Baptist Church.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you today to ask you for guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to go closer as a group. Nurture the bond of our community. Fill us with grace from only you, O God, as we're making decisions that may affect the resident, staff, elected officials, business leaders, and the community entirely. Help us, God, to continue work hard so everything that we do will be productive. Help us to get closer and closer to you. Help us to acknowledge you in every single decision and every accomplishment that made tonight will not be made just to see us, but it will be made for your glory and for the honor that only you have ordained all of us as public servants to serve your people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor. We may be seated. Next order of the agenda is to ask the city manager if there is any addition, deletion, or amendment to the published agenda before we proceed.
Through the mayor, I have one correction, and I think the city attorney may have one. The one correction I have is tab C is listed as being part of the consent agenda. It should not be part of the consent agenda.
Okay, so tab C is therefore removed from the consent and will be presented for public hearing and discussion on the agenda, on the dais. That's it?
And Mayor, if I may ask, I'd like to see if we can take tab H before tab G, only because I think we may have more public hearing on tab G, and Mr. Smith is here. I'd like to get him out a little bit earlier.
Okay, you want H before G,
Yes, sir.
and then C out of out of consent. So at this
Which other tab, Mr. Mayor?
H before G and then C out of consent.
Got it, got it. Yeah, I was gonna.
So at this point of time, we should consider the agenda set so we can proceed, Mr. Attorney.
Thank you. I don't need it.
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. Next order is for special presentations. We have only a few special presentations.
Only a few. Oh, my God.
We need to get it down to where there's only one.
Yes. Only one. You know how they do it at the school board, Scott? They do it like 30 minutes or an hour before the meeting. The county commissioner too, so all of them way before, but because of our time, we need to change.
Good evening again. Before all the orders of business in the agenda, we'd like to do a few presentations. At this time, we will make a presentation in recognition of Christ Centered Church for outstanding community service by Parks Director, Mr. Derek Corker. Come forward, Mr. Corker.
He's going to do it with me, but thank you, Mayor and Council, and good evening, residents and guests. My name is Christine Carney. I am the Assistant Director with the City of Parks and Recreation Department. It is a pleasure to present this plaque to Christ Center Church Pastor Derek Allen, his wife Lindsay Allen, along with all the members of the church for their commitment to the City of North Miami. Christ Center Church volunteers their time and services by providing the face painting Kids Corner at many of our friendly events that take place in the city. These events include our annual back to school distributions, Halloween haunted trails, spring egg hunt, July 4th celebration, just to name a few. It is safe to say that they have painted well over 2,000 friendly faces at our events, free at cost. The City of North Miami is an inclusive community, and we are privileged to have Christ Center Church volunteer their time to provide this fun and exciting activity to all of our residents and visitors. Their face painters are skillful, friendly, and enhance our community events. North Miami, and especially the Parks and Rec Department, greatly value their volunteer spirit. Their contribution improves the quality of life of the people they are helping. Their dedication, commitment, compassion are remarkable. Once again, we just would like to thank all of you at Christ Center Church who volunteer in making the City of North Miami a wonderful place to live. Oh, no. Pictures are thank you. They wanted you in.
Okay. Right, the next presentation is a very, very special presentation because I have 3 long paragraphs to read. Let's say I have to read it. I cannot just shorten it by any means because every single word and comma is very important, right? It's pretty much a presentation toward the Florida Police Chiefs Association, who presented this award to Corporations Award to the North Miami PD, and in collaboration with the Miami Dolphins. And that's why if you guys, well, I don't see the orange tie. Oh, there you go, you got the pen. So at this time, I'd like the chief to please come forward. Our chief has been working, he's very well connected, not only with the Dolphins, but with a lot of other non-profit organizations, and building bridges between North Miami and these associations. So we are very proud of you, Chief. In addition to that, I'm proud to announce that the Miami Dolphins and the North Miami PD have been selected as the recipients. I think at this time we should call the VP to please come forward. Mr. Jenkins to please come forward. Mr. Jenkins is the vice president of, there's the VP, right? Yes. So you control everything, pretty much, right? So they received the Miami Dolphins, along with the North Miami PD, are the recipients of the Public-Private Partnerships of Service Award, also known as the Operation Cooperation from Florida, a Police Chief Association. There was only one police department and one private organization chosen for the entire state of Florida for that award. The Miami Dolphins and the North Miami PD share a passion for developing community partnerships to improve community relations. Together, they are unified in their efforts to promote understanding and respect. That's with a capital R. Somebody wrote it with capital R. Respect. Through educational and athletic programming to improve relationships with the youth. By way of their collaboration, they have forged an alliance that focuses on community engagement and promoting equality and social justice reform while enhancing public safety in our community. The tremendous collaboration between our police department and the Miami Dolphins expanded after a meeting last year. We had a roundtable with the Dolphins players and staff and the North Miami officers, staff members, and elected officials. As a result, these productive conversations about community policing and engagement and a subsequent ride through North Miami, the partnership grew. Now, through the Dolphins' generous funding of the North Miami PD, well, the PAL, and participation of the Miami Dolphins Football Unite programs, children throughout our community are afforded incredible opportunities and once-in-a-lifetime experience. We are extremely proud and thankful for this partnership. Again, congratulations to the North Miami PD on achieving this great honor. Oof.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be very brief. I'm Larry Juriga, the police chief here in the great city of North Miami, and I'm proud, the city on the move, and I'm proud to accept this on behalf of all of the hardworking men and women of the North Miami Police Department. It's truly a team effort. Our partnership with the community, our partnership with the Miami Dolphins, our partnership with the Police Athletic League and all the kids, and with the full support of our city manager, Larry Spring, and his staff, as well as our mayor and council. It's truly a great partnership. And I'm proud to stand side by side, not only with Jason Jenkins, but with the Miami Dolphins organization as we engage with our children and we engage with the community, which is critical for our job to get done. So again, thank you all. And at this time, I'll ask Jason to come up just for a second.
No, thank you very much. We're so excited to partner with the city of North Miami and win this award. what Chief Juriga didn't mention is it started about a year and a half ago. We were looking for offensive linemen, you know. And so, you know, when we couldn't convince him to put the helmet on, we decided with this great partnership, and he mentioned that our theme with the Miami Dolphins is teamwork at work. And we want to make South Florida healthier, educated, and more united. And through this Football Unites program, our point of view is that football is a way to bring people together. It doesn't matter your gender, your sexual orientation, your race, or identity. When Ryan Tannehill throws that winning touchdown, we can't wait gets the winning sack, you're going to high five and hug the person next to you. It doesn't matter what happens. And really, that's the goal of Football Uniting. So this is a great partnership. When he calls, I answer. When I call, he answers. And it's not like, oh, my God, what does he want? It's like, what can I do to make this partnership better? So we're very grateful to be here. We're very grateful to be in the city of North Miami. And we love you all. We thank you for this partnership.
We're going to move right on to the Officers of the Month presentation. If I could ask Officer Jodlin Antoine to join us up here, along with the other command staff of our police department, Anne-Marie, Pat, Robert. Angelo. Ray, come on, please. Okay. We have two Officers of the Month that we're recognizing today. The first one is Officer Kamisha Moffitt. Officer Moffitt works the midnight shift, so she wasn't able to join us today. But Officer Moffitt received recognition for her involvement during a 1-month period where she arrested 3 felons, including 2 armed robbers, in addition to a car thief. And being a 1-year officer, that's pretty remarkable that she's already out there, learned what to do on the streets. Additionally, she also utilized her training and displayed great empathy when she was dealing with an arrestee who was arrested for possession of marijuana. While she was transporting this female subject to jail, the female started indicating that she wanted to kill herself, and even while handcuffed, attempted to get her seatbelt around her own neck to strangle herself. So Officer Moffitt stopped the car, got on the radio, advised immediately, removed the seatbelt, and then took into consideration all the circumstances. And rather than taking her to jail, she took her to the mental facility to get her mental help, which is what we're always pushing for. We're always pushing for that. So congratulations to her. And now off to Officer Jodlin Antoine. Officer Antoine is not new to this. He's received multiple Officer of the Month awards during his 13 years of service. Thank you, Mayor. And on July 16, 2018, Officer Antoine responded to an armed robbery that was occurring at a local Quick Stop where the clerk behind the counter was being held at gunpoint. While en route there, Officer Antoine has the wisdom of a veteran. He was already looking, as he was heading, looking on the street, seeing who was walking, who looked out of place. And he immediately picked up the subject who had already discarded the mask, the gun, and the money. But he stopped him, called additional officers over to take the subject into custody, and then took the time to go back on the track that the subject had taken, found the gun, found the money, and found the mask. So great work by Officer Antoine. So Jodlin, on behalf of the city, the mayor, and council, here's recognition for you for Officer of the Month. Congratulations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you to the City of North Miami, command staff, chief of police, as well as the council, the mayor, and everyone here. And this is a great honor, and I appreciate the recognition. And Once again, I've always mentioned this every time I get Officer of the Month. It's a great feeling when you get recognized for something you enjoy doing. And I love serving the city of North Miami and putting the bad guys behind bars as well as helping the beautiful citizens of North Miami. Thank you. Appreciate it.
As many of you know, here in the city of North Miami, we have the tradition of celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And this is the time when, actually today is the kickoff, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we're gonna call the chairwoman to please come for the special unveiling ceremony and presentation of our artist of the month for Hispanic Heritage Month.
Thank you and welcome everybody. Before I get started, I would like to thank our local restaurant Il Kiosco for the delicious dinner they contributed towards our Hispanic Heritage Month. They always participate with us. We will be doing an event there, but they did donate the delicious food, so I do want to recognize them. So a little bit about National Hispanic Heritage Month. Each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th by celebrating the histories, cultures, and contributions of American citizens whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The observation started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15th and ending on October 15th. I'm very proud that the City of North Miami has allowed us to continue with this tradition and celebrate a month-long series of events celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Tonight, we honor one of our local Hispanic artists, David Le Batard, Lebo, who is a tremendous asset. I'm going to read a proclamation. Thank you for being here, and he has donated for our month to be on our walls. That's artwork. And Lebo, would you come up? Lourdes, you want to come up? Lourdes, you want to be up here? No?
Thank you, Carol.
Okay, I'm going to read this to you.
Oh,
thank you.
you.
So whereas David Le Batard was born on November 19th, 1972 to Cuban parents, whereas, I'm going to say Lebo, was raised in South Florida where he attended the Chaminade Madonna College Prep School and Florida International University where he graduated in 1995. Whereas in 1990, Lebo won the Silver Knight Award for art in Broward County and later judged the competition. Whereas Lebo has been a lecturer in residence at the International Museum of Cartoon Art, and Lebo's first public exhibition was at our own Johnson and Wales in 1996. Whereas Lebo is a Cuban-American graphic and fine artist based in Miami, Florida, and has been described as one of South Florida's most recognizable artists. Whereas Lebo, better known in the world as Lebo, whereas David Le Batard, better known in the art world as Lebo, is recognized for working in a wide spectrum of creative mediums, including murals, paintings, and sculptures. Lebo is the innovator of postmodern cartoon expressionism, a combination of cartoon imagery, richly saturated balances of color, and unique linear composition brought together in narrative style to inspire and create layers of meaning. Whereas Lebo has collaborated extensively with various organizations, including the Miami Heat, when he was asked to create a mural for a new NBA Cares, Learn, and Play Center at the Joe Celestine Center in North Miami. The center opened in 2013 and was refurbished in partnership with State Farm to provide kids with a safe place to learn and play. Whereas David Lebitard has become one of the most well-respected muralists in Miami, and now therefore in consideration of the foregoing, I, Dr. Smith, Mayor of the City of North Miami, and the City Council, and residents do hereby proclaim Wednesday, September 12th, to be David Lebo Lebitard Day. Thank you. And I certainly hope that we will be seeing some of Lebo's murals in our city.
Sure.
Or starting a new project. So thank you.
Can I speak a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, just to say, I'm not a trained speaker. Well, first of all, for those of you who know Larry, we grew up together. So he's 2 years older than me, and thankfully he never bullied me because clearly he would have kicked my ass. So, but first of all, I stand up here thankfully with my family that's sitting up there. So first, I'd like to pay recognition to them. Without their support and love, I wouldn't be here doing this. So can you guys stand up? No, not get up yet. Hold on. Relax, Larry. You take a break. I'm in charge right now. No, I'm joking. But yeah, that's it. And then secondly, really, I say I work with a lot of veterans and a lot of enlisted of our soldiers, and I'm very flattered to do that. And I always say I wouldn't be able to do what I do as an artist if you guys always didn't do, or those of you that are veterans and enlisted didn't do what you did, and the decades and centuries of brave soldiers that have done what they've done to preserve our freedom. I'm very privileged to salute that flag, and I want to thank all the police officers, and if there's any first responders here as well. And I ask you guys to stand up because I really couldn't be up here if it wasn't without that with you guys. And I want Larry to come next to me and give me a big hug. That's my pound of flesh. So thank you. And then lastly. And like I said, I really owe it to all of my family. Those are my 4 pillars right there. But my mom holds a special place in my heart. She always lifted us up, and she always really celebrated us. So specifically, I want to celebrate my mom. And I want to chant her name out and say, Luli, Luli, Luli. Come on, Mom, come on. Carol, Luli, 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 Luli. It's not coming. Luli, 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 Luli.
So now we are going to unveil our picture for the year.
Oh, you want me to unveil? I want Larry to unveil. Yeah. Artist choice. And Jason, come on up, both of you. If we can do it together. Carol, can you get in there? We'll all do it together. I'll hold that. Are you going all that? I don't know protocol. Ready? Are we unveiling?
Wait, on 3. 1, 2, 3, go!
Careful! There it is! Come on up, Lourdes. Oh, wow. Thank you. Have you been united? Have I been united? Thank you, sir. Thank you. I've never come on in. My mom's the bologna and the sandwich now. You get in the middle. You hold it too. You're 4 as well.
She's trying to take it home.
Bruno, you get in here too. Get out of there. Come on.
Bruno, I'll take you.
Larry, what are you doing? Come here. You gotta stand behind us and protect us. Thank you, everybody. I don't know what I do with this. Give me my mom's proclamation. That's what I do.
I'll take that.
Oh, thank you, Rosa. Does that mean we get to go? That was the most boring meeting of my life. Do we get to go now, or what? You know? Oh, we can. All right. That's it? All right.
There is one more for the.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. We have more.
See, that's just the
Diale? C'est
didn't
OK,
do
belle.
nothing. I was downstairs. Oh my God. It's almost taken an
All
hour.
right. The next, do we have any hurricane preparedness?
Hurricane.
God
No?
bless North Carolina.
No update on hurricane tonight, sir.
Not even on Florence?
We need to,
It is not affecting
Okay.
Florida.
Any city project update? None? No city event
events.
announcement? Hmm?
Through the mayor, for Councilman DeSume, when we have storm events like this weekend, emergency management pushed out a bunch of updates over the weekend as those storms were developed.
no, I'm saying at the council meeting, just for the public, what's going on.
Okay.
Because it's hurricane season. Are you get
No,
what
no,
I'm saying?
I
Just
get
a
what you're
regular update, because I mean, you know, there's
We'll have
something.
one, we'll have one for the,
Yeah,
25th.
something.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami, neighbors, and guests. I'm Unicia Baker. I'm the Senior Public Information Officer, and it's my pleasure to share some of our city's upcoming events, programs, and outreach initiatives with you. Please note that there has been a slight change to the Code Compliance Department's hearing schedule. Hearings will now take place on the first and third Wednesday of each month at 10 a.m. A complete and detailed hearing schedule is available at northmiamifl.gov/code. The City of North Miami has received an allocation of federal funds for its 2018-2019 affordable housing programs. As such, the city will open registration to accept applications for its housing programs. This year, the city will propose an amendment to the housing program guidelines to establish a new application time period of October 1st through 31st. In addition, the city will propose a new lottery process which will revise the first come, first served, and first qualified criteria. Persons wishing to comment on the proposed amendment may submit comments via email to housingcomments@northmiamifl.gov or in person at the Community Planning and Development Department located at 12400 Northeast 8th Avenue or the North Miami Public Library at 835 Northeast 132nd Street. The comment period ends on September 24th. Learn more by calling CP&D at 305-895-9825. Looking for after-school enrichment activities for your children? You may now sign them up for weekly after-school care and homework assistance programs, including chess, health and fitness, and nature exploration activities. Fun days are available on Teachers Planning Days for a nominal fee. For more information, call the North Miami Parks and Recreation's office at 305-895-9840. Has protecting and serving our community as a police officer always been your dream? We'll make it a reality at the North Miami Police Department. Thursday, September 13th at 6:30 until 8:30 p.m., the NMPD will host an open house session for all persons interested in joining their team as a sworn officer. Guests will learn about all of the department's divisions, and guests will have questions answered about the application process and requirements. To learn more, call the NMPD at 305-899-2424. Teens ages 13 to 18 interested in jewelry making can hone their skills at the Nomi Library's Metal Arts Workshop on Thursday, September 13th at 3 p.m. This free instructor-led hour-long workshop will teach teens to work with metal and tools to design and create inspiring art pieces of their own. On Thursday, September 13th at 6 p.m., the City of North Miami's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration will continue with Family Fun Night at the library, where Puerto Rican author, illustrator in residence Lulu Delacre will launch the first picture book biography of United States Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. Make your way to Mocha at 7 p.m. on Thursday, September 13th for an artist reception spotlighting Myra Laird's upcoming exhibition, Tracing the Red Thread. Are you ready to earn your high school diploma? Now is your chance to do so for free at the Nomi Career Online High School, available through the North Miami Public Library. Attend the first public information session on Wednesday, September 19th at the Nomi Library to learn more. Help us spread the word. Tell a friend and tell a neighbor. Contact the North Miami Public Library for details and to learn about upcoming information sessions. Their phone number is 305-891-5535. Attention teens ages 13 to 18. Are you interested in learning to cook tasty, nutritious meals while having fun at the same time? Now's your chance at the Teens Can Cook program at the Nomi Library. That's on September 15th and 24th. Program perks include healthy culinary creations, cultural cuisine exposure, culinary technique instruction, and culinary field job preparation from Chef Stephen of Kids Can Cook. North Miami residents are invited to join the mayor and council and city staff at the second budget hearing for the city's fiscal year 2018-2019 annual budget. The second hearing will take place on Monday, September 17th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Join Mayor Joseph on Thursday, September 20th for the third quarter business luncheon. It's titled Igniting Redevelopment, Community Redevelopment Agencies, a Spark for Public-Private Partnerships. The keynote speaker is Jeremy Early. He's the Assistant City Manager for the City of Hallandale Beach. The final day to RSVP is September 14th. You may do so by visiting northmiamifl.gov. Looking to develop your professional skills? Well, check out North Miami Mayor Dr. Smith Joseph's Job Training Academy. This 6-week course occurs every Thursday from 6 until 8 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library. Classes will begin on September 20th. Enrollment is free. Refreshments will be provided. For more information, call Sam Blatt. He's the Economic Development Manager. He can be reached at 305-895-9825, extension 19006. On Friday, September 21st at the Griffin Park, Marvel's Black Panther will be featured as the City of North Miami's Parks and Recreation Department's next movie on the lawn. The movie begins at sundown. The community is invited to this free event. Complimentary popcorn will be served. Other refreshments are available for purchase. All guests are encouraged to bring picnic blankets and or chairs for comfortable viewing. A citizenship drive hosted by Vice Mayor Carol Keys, Esquire, in collaboration with the Florida Immigrant Coalition will take place at the North Miami Public Library on September 22nd at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. For more information, please call the Office of the Mayor and Council. That number is 305-895-9815, or the Florida Immigrant Coalition at 305-571-7254. You can also email them at fna@floridaimmigrant.org. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in our city, visit www.northmiamifl.gov, then click the Connect with Nomi icon on our homepage, where you can sign up to receive our monthly newsletter. You may tune into our free governmental programming, Nomi TV. It's available 24 hours a day through the city's website. Residents may also like the City of North Miami on Facebook, follow @Nomi News on Twitter, or download the My Nomi app. This concludes today's announcements.
Thank you very much, Ms. Baker. Although he's not here in the capacity of a state representative, but he represents part of City of North Miami. We have in our midst Representative Attorney Joe Geller. I wanted him to be acknowledged. Thank you very much. At this time, we will entertain a motion for the to approve the consent agenda without tab C, I believe, right? Yeah, without tab C.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda, which is tab A and B. The motion was seconded by Mayor Smith Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab C, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, approving the city administration's competitive selection of TV Diversified LLC as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder to provide all labor, equipment, materials, services, and expertise required to complete the rehabilitation of wastewater pump station number 24 in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in invitation for bid number 39-17-18, further authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute the agreement with TV Diversified LLC for the provision of services in an amount not to exceed $952,061, providing for an effective date.
Thank you.
Right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. Alberto Estrada, Purchasing Director. The item that you have before you under tab C represents the results of solicitation number 391718, which was issued to request bids for the bids from qualified and experienced contractors to perform the rehabilitation of pump station number 24 project in accordance with the specifications contained in the solicitation. As reflected in your council report, the work to be performed is essentially the rehabilitation of this existing pump station, which is located at Northeast 125th Street and 16th Avenue, and is referred to as the Hospital Station Pump Station. In response to the solicitation, the city received 6 bids, and the bids are tabulated and attached as part of your report. Following staff's review and evaluation of the bids that were submitted, the recommendation being made before you by staff is the award to the lowest and responsive and responsible bidder, the company TV Diversified LLC, for a not-to-exceed cost of $952,061, and for a project duration of 225 days from issuance of a notice to proceed. Also here with me in support of this item is our Public Works Director, Mr. Whistler Pierre Lewis, if you have any more questions regarding the actual scope of this project. And if you have any questions, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if the director has anything to add. If not, we'll open the item to the public. At this time, the item C, is open for public hearing. For anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard, please, this is your time to be heard. Any concern, questions? See none, hear none. Public hearing is therefore closed. We'll come back to the dais for further discussions or questions.
Mr. Mayor, through you, I have a couple of questions. I don't know if it's you, Mr. Estrada, or Mr. Pierre Lewis, who could answer. So what would be the scope? Because looking at the original RFP that was issued, we kind of have the same issue we had earlier at another meeting. Is that the $667,000 that we had allocated, is that an estimate amount that we assume that this a project of this magnitude would cost, and why would it be almost $300,000 over? That's the first question, and the second question will be for you, Mr. Pierre Lewis. Just a little bit the scope of what will be done for that amount of money, almost $1 million.
Sure. Through the manager, Whistler Pierre Lewis, Public Works Director. The scope of work is to replace an existing pump station. As the purchasing director mentioned, it's on Northeast 125th Street and 16th Avenue. That will include an 11 by 18 foot wet well and a 10.5 by 8.5 valve vault. There's also a section of force main that'll be replaced. It's about 117 linear feet. In addition to that, there's piping, there are fittings, there's electrical work to be done, there's concrete work, coordination with FP&L, paving the locations where the work is done as well. So that's the gist of the scope of work. It also includes sidewalk restoration. Any area that's disturbed will be restored to prior or better conditions. And as far as the actual cost, what was listed on the bid was the estimate at that time. However, it's an estimate which, as far as level of accuracy, falls within a certain range. It can fall, depending on the planning level, it can fall from -10 to +30, or even be 50% off, which this this project could fall into. And also something else that you factor is the time that the estimate was made. Market conditions can change. Cost of asphalt can change from that period. Cost of steel can change. And the market can pick up where more contractors have work, so they give higher prices for the job. So there are many factors that can impact the cost of the project. But fortunately, this cost is covered by the utility fund. We can fund it 100% and move forward with this project.
Yeah. My concern is not the fact that we could cover it. Obviously, if it's in front of us, I'm assuming we have done that to ensure we have the fund. My question is, I've seen these more and more. It's becoming kind of custom, and I'm not really comfortable with the fact. I understand if it's $5,000 or $10,000 off, but I do understand your professional explanation. But to myself and the regular average person looking at this, we put out a bid, we say $600-something thousand should be able to get this done, and we off $300,000 almost. That to me is somebody didn't do something. And I'm not saying you guys are professional within that range of knowing, but somebody in somebody's office need to look at these things and price them a little bit careful, where the range for, because this is something that's critical, that's important. But how do you get this? How do we get it? What if we only had $600 and something thousand? That means that we would not be able to get this complete. So in a way, just because you do it, just because it's right, doesn't mean that we have to keep on doing it. We need to do a little bit more accurate pricing of these items.
So, through the mayor, given the discussion we had at the CRA meeting, what I'd like to do, and I've actually done this exercise on a couple of the projects, like the Cagney North projects coming. We went and had some engineering estimators relook at separate from the bid, relook at the scope of work, and give us some better, more relevant estimates. So what we can do is kind of have that process ahead of putting one of these bids out. So we'll have we can tune in on it a little bit closer, so we can.
Yeah. What I would like to see or hear tonight is how, I mean, how did we arrive to an estimate of 600, and then when the bidder came and bidded $900, what is it that changed? Was there new information that was provided that we did not know at the time that we put out the bid? And what new information did they bring? I mean, was there new equipment, new parts that need to be changed? I do understand these infrastructure work are very costly, but from 6 to 900 that doesn't even come close. I mean, from 6 to 650, maybe 670.
Even 700.
I would entertain doing a vote tonight, but until you bring me some hardcore evidence as to why this bidder went from $600 to $900, I will not be able to vote yes for this item tonight. It's a big jump. I'm a street mayor. I like repairing street. That's what I want to be known as. But when something doesn't make too much sense, that's just me. I just don't like to go with something that doesn't make sense.
Right. I understand, Mr. Mayor. And in addition, we did release 2 other projects before, and they all fall within this $900 to $1 million range. And also, we do have the contractor here. Maybe they can provide some insight on how they
Mr. Mayor, if you allow me.
price the project, if that'll assist.
I don't know if it would be good just to bring them in. I don't know how my other colleagues are viewing this, but you said something that's key, and this is the public's money. We've done it twice, so this will be 3 times. So we saying that we understand that you have to do this, but please have somebody somewhere look at these numbers where we understand it's $100,000 off, and that's a big jump. But you're talking about $300,000, so somebody didn't do something. Somebody did not price out something. And how long was this?
It's $400. It's $400.
Oh God.
It's $952,000.
Okay. So how long? If you said the asphalt or something price went up, so was it 5 years delay? So how would that just jump up?
No, it's within months, and I'd also like to add that I mentioned 2 prior bids, but there are bids that are spot on. I believe the one for Flowtech, the estimate came out exact. Again, it's an estimate. Sometimes you hit the number spot on. Sometimes you get a bid that comes below, and sometimes you get a bid that's above.
I don't know. I know.
Again, like I put on the record before, the best approach would be for us to get a more in our estimates. We don't have professional estimaters in the department. So seek some, but again, they're looking at cost of materials and general cost of labor.
So let me ask
when
you
they do
this,
that.
Mr.
Well,
Manager.
that's
How did they
amazing.
get to that 600?
Well, that's
How did y'all get to that, the 600? 667.
It was an in-house estimate that was
So-
provided.
So we do have somebody who knows what they're doing. Because if you ask me, I won't know what to do. So somebody know what they're doing. So that person, can they maybe closer to the bid or just kind of relook at the stuff? Because it doesn't, if they know what they're doing, obviously, I just don't want you guys to feel like, okay, we'll bring it to the council because we've done it before and it's $400,000, it'll be okay. It's just not right. It doesn't seem right. And I'm agreeing with the mayor because we've done it too often and this is a big jump.
And this is the same area where that major work was just done on 16th Avenue. Major work. We're talking about, as a matter of fact, the work is still ongoing. They've already finished the southern part of it. Now they moved to the northern part, I think from 130, from the railroad track up to 135th. Yeah. So why couldn't we, I don't know. I mean, to me, if this work were done, maybe not simultaneously, but at least in concert with, was it FDOT who did it or Miami-Dade County?
The work on 16th Avenue is being done
FDOT?
by Miami-Dade County.
Dade County, okay.
And because of that, we did extend the force main so that we would not impact the road that's being paved. So all of the road will stop short right of the limits for 16th Avenue.
May I ask a question on this?
Go ahead.
All right, this is what I was going to talk about with this. That county project has been painfully slow and has just decimated traffic in the area. It's caused problems back out onto Biscayne. It's caused commercial issues. Will this project block traffic at all at any stage? And if so, what is your expected start date and completion date for this, whenever, if it's approved now or next week?
The pump station is located on the north side of 125th Street, east of 16th Avenue, right next to a hospital, I believe. That's next to it. So most of the work will be done on 125th Street. However, the contractor always has to submit a maintenance of traffic plan, which will limit the impacts to vehicles and pedestrians. If approved, depending on when the contract is executed, it's typically 2 months or so from the time that it's approved that they'll probably start the work. And I believe the duration is 225 days for this project.
That's potentially another year. That's the thing. So here's the problem that I foresee. Either this is going to happen at the same time the current project is still going on, and we'll have shutdowns both north and south of the railroad tracks, or they'll finally finish 16th Avenue. Everybody's going to cheer, oh, thank goodness the construction's over, and then we're going to come marching back out and start doing more construction, and everybody's going to lose their minds, because they're losing their minds about this project already.
It's understood. However, most of the work will be done on 125th Street, not on 16th Avenue.
I know, but most is not all, and I'm just saying right now, I've been taking the county's bullets for close to 18 months or more now on this project, because everybody thinks it's the city. The city is an idiot, the city is taking too long, so I'm getting lots of calls about it. I don't want to impact traffic another day out there, because it's been, by the time the county finishes, it's going to be like 2 years that 16th Avenue has been under construction. If we jump right back in there with 30% blockage in one lane and all that stuff again, it's too much.
I do not anticipate any lane blockages on 16th Avenue. What about 125th? 125th, again, it's next to an apartment building, I believe to the south, the hospital to the north, and it dead ends.
The university, you mean?
Nursing home.
Oh.
They would enter on 16th Avenue. Isn't the entrance on 16th?
Go ahead.
This impacts our neighborhood, my share of this district. We're right down the middle of the street. It is a nightmare. You can't get. Sorry. You can't get through. You're ready to go north on 16th. They change the direction. They change the directions back and forth. It's been a nightmare. And people are coming down 125th and they're going down 16th. You can't get down 17th. It's a nightmare. Are you saying that we're going to be blocking 125th? Because right now 125th is a nightmare.
That,
You can't do 125th and 16th at the same time. There's nowhere to go. It is a safety issue. Our police, our fire department, there's like nowhere to go. This is a nightmare. You can't block 125th.
So that since you your only option will be 135th. So you
Can
have
I
to
say
go
something?
from where? No, that's what it will be. 135th.
Can I say something? You
Or 160 or 160? No, not 160.
No, there's no way
That's
to
mean
go. There is no way to go.
Okay. You see, just take the money and we do another pump station in my district because they don't want it.
Good idea.
We are,
And then we'll
people
take some
are
of
worried-
his sidewalk money
yeah, but
and move
people
it
are
over to ours.
are worried about blocking the street when we're talking about pump station for flood, to address the flood, drainage and things like that. And take the money, give it to me. Because we're
If
talking
there's a
about
more
traffic
urgent-
and money for
If
pump
there's-
station.
I mean, I don't know how this was rated, if it was chosen, this site was chosen because there's an extreme issue. If there is, obviously, we need to address it, but if there's not, and it just was next in line, I wouldn't have an issue if there's a pump station in 3 that near 4 that needs more immediate attention to redirect the money.
No, but
This
what I'm
is-
saying is like when we're talking about infrastructure in the city, we do understand we're gonna have traffic problem. There's no way we're gonna have a traffic station, and you see how beautiful 16th Avenue is. If people have to suffer for another 2 months and have a beautiful street with infrastructure and all those things.
My problem is not with traffic. My problem is the from 600,000 to 900,000. That's
Yeah,
what
for
I want
that, I
us.
understand.
That's what I want us to look at
People are
very,
discussing traffic
very meticulously.
for a pump station that we do
If we have to put it back for bid, I mean, go back to the drawing board and see where we went wrong. Whatever it is that we went, I mean, we did wrong. We have to put it out there. We have to explain to the public because it's part of the transparency campaign that we have.
Well, let
Because
me-
when we put something for 600, you go from 600 to 952. It simply does not jive.
Sir,
So just explain it. Just show it on the screens. Okay, this is what we did, and this is what we did not take account of this, and we were blindsided. We didn't see this, we didn't see that, and then the companies brought this to our attention. Just show me this, and then I will vote for it.
That's fine, sir. No one
That's
is debating
all.
that. We
Yeah.
said, I already put on the record at the beginning, because of the previous discussion.
Yeah.
We'll look at the estimates, but I want us to be careful about how we address, I guess, the market, if you will, because assume there was no we decided not to even put an estimate, and we said this is the scope of, we just defined the scope of work that needed to be done, and then we go to the market. and we
That's
get
a
the
good
bid.
idea.
So we can, but I know this is just an internal process, so we have we try to have some,
It's been off for a while.
yeah, some guideline, but we can look at that. But I want to be careful about how we address the market, in looking at some of these bids.
Okay. Mr. Manager, if I may, I'd also like to add the regulatory compliance issues, that this is part of maintaining our compliance with Miami-Dade.
I know it was
In
coming.
addition with the
I
permits
know
that
it
we
was
have.
coming.
And as I mentioned before, with the maintenance of traffic, you always maintain access to local businesses, local residences. You do not completely block off a road whenever you're doing construction.
Mr. Mayor, if you're like, can I make a motion? We defer this item until you get these answers, these question answered from Councilman Galvin, where we are sure what's going to happen, how long it's going to take, the amount, and then we could better, will be our mindset when voting at this. I make a motion. We defer.
Before we make the motion, give them guidance as far as the community action plan.
Yes.
Because that's $1 million
Oh, no.
project. Make sure.
Remember,
with that
once
guidance.
again,
like- yeah,
this is not funded from general fund.
Oh,
Oh,
my
that's
God.
This is from enterprise fund.
From enterprise, okay. We hate those things. There's not a dollar from general. Can you put $1 in, and then we could get a
No,
community
no,
plan?
and to the
Oh.
point, so that you know, Councilman Biename, whenever there is the anticipated source is general fund, and we know it's gonna be there, the purchasing director puts that as a requirement in the actual bid itself.
So legally,
before it
there's
goes
nothing
out.
we could do with the enterprise fund. Mr. Attorney, do you know?
It's restricted.
But it's just
the enterprise
restricted.
fund. No, you can't.
Well, we could ask them. We
Good
could always
advice,
ask them.
Steve.
That's not illegal. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I make my motion that we defer this item until the next meeting.
What are the instructions?
The instructions,
to come back?
they will come back with all the answers relating to, they will address all of the questions. that
Relating
we-
to the big difference, that's what
Yeah,
I'm interested in.
regarding that, but
The
also
big
the
diff-
traffic concern Councilman Galvin mentioned. Thank you.
I have a motion made by Councilman Alex Desume to defer this item till next council meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
That motion was seconded by Councilman
They didn't say next council.
Galvin.
Deferred.
Until they have the
Yeah.
questions.
That motion was seconded by Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote. Tab D. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, urging the Miami-Dade County Commissioners to release the $5 million associated with project number 19 recreational facility of the Miami-Dade County Building Better Communities General Obligation Bond Financing to be used towards the Cadney North Park project, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Through the mayor, very quickly. As you know, in the 2006 county GOB offering, there was an item that was to fund a park in the city of North Miami. The city has been working with the Miami-Dade County School Board. We have our interlocal agreement all tied up, and I think we'll be executing the escrow agreement shortly. 60 days following that execution date, the city, the school board have to deposit our money in the joint escrow account. The city's already set aside our $2 million, so we're ready to make our deposit. The school board has its $3.5 million that will be made. The additional remaining $5 million is coming from the GOB source, and we wanted to have a formal directive, another formal directive, if you will, from the city council, requesting the money from Miami-Dade County, so that we can transmit.
Have we made any efforts in the past to get the county to release that funding?
Yes, we have. We've sent, a resolution was passed in, 2014, I believe? Yeah, I believe it was 2014. From my office, I have sent request letters, had some meetings with our district commissioner. Councilman Bieneme, as a district commissioner, has also sent request letters as well. So we just wanted
So what are the reasons that are given as to why we cannot get this funding? Why do we? These are, I mean, the public is sitting here. This is a funding that, I mean, we've been at this for so many years, and this is to fund a park, you know, where we can have Olympic-sized pools and a lot of amenities for the community, for the taxpayers of the city of North Miami. Somehow, that $5 million is stuck in the county, and they decided they do not want to release it. So I'm encouraging you, don't just come here and demand things of us. You know, you can go to the county. The county have their meetings as well. I'm encouraging the public to please go to the county commissioners' meetings and demand and ask them, tell them that you've been to the city of North Miami meetings. They're saying that you guys are holding $5 million of a big project that we're supposed to be having, and they're holding it. Why? They don't do that to other cities. They don't do it to other cities. So this is your time to speak on the item if you want, you know, say your piece, and but I encourage you, like I said, please go to the city and ask the county to release the $5 million that are because you pay taxes, your ad valorem taxes, you know, and plus whenever you buy anything, you pay taxes as well. So for them to be doing this to us, this is political, and we want it to stop.
Ladies first.
Yeah.
Thank you. Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. I'm glad you brought that up, Mayor Joseph, because we have done exactly that. And this resolution is on the agenda because of a meeting 2 weeks ago we had as homeowners association presidents, and to ask formally our County Commissioner Monestein to place this on the County Commission. We've been waiting for 14 years, and now is the time. And I'm encouraged that he pledged to us that if we pass this resolution as a formal ask, he will quickly place it on the County Commission to distribute that money to North Miami. And that is exactly where the voters of this general obligation bond wanted this money spent. So this is the intent of the voters, and I'm encouraged that for the first time in many years, we're going to have a real possibility of breaking ground in Cagney Park in North Miami. I cannot wait for my kids to play and to watch the baseball, and I think this is a real possibility. So do not worry, your constituents are on it. We've had the meetings, and we will definitely be there to break ground with you. Thank you very much. I also want to just say thank you to every homeowner's member who took the time out of their day, multiple times, twice actually, and attended the meetings and really pushed our commissioner to give us his pledge. So to all those residents who have kids and work, thank you for showing up for your city.
Jim Garrett, 11610 North Bayshore Drive. I came back here in October 2012 and I saw the high school lot with weeds on it, about this tall, empty. It's been 6 long years. It's time for us to build something on there to benefit the youth, the elderly, and the whole community of the city. This $5 million grant was originally entitled to Rux Park, but we couldn't build on Rux Park, so it should be directed towards Cagney Park North. On the issue of us lobbying this county, we have lobbied the county on transit, and we have lobbied the county on parks. We're going to hold the county and the school board accountable. We've been used so many times in the past by the county and the school board where they've taken money out of this city and not given it back. We're a donor city. We're not a receiving city. So I will encourage the council to pass this resolution so we can get the $5 million, we can match it with the school board money and the city money, and we can start breaking ground and have little kids playing out there, playing t-ball and baseball again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125 Street. I stand in support of the Cagney Park project. I would also like to remind you and let you know that we needed parks in Sunkist Grove as well. We don't have any parks with swings in Sunkist Grove. Ben Franklin Park doesn't have swings for the children. The park at the community center, our community center, doesn't have a swing for swings for the children. So as you are funding and looking at funding for Cagney Park, I urge you to remember, to think about, to entertain the thought of reserving some funding for the west side of the city, Sunkist Grove. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good night. Elizabeth Gentil, 721 Northwest, 758 Northwest 121st Street. I'm urging you, the council, to take your time to go over this resolution and help us. I have a daughter, and she lives in the city, and I would want her to enjoy more and find a park where she feels safer. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Kevin Burns, 2065 Alamanda Drive. It's kind of disappointing that it's 14 years later that we're standing here still talking about Cagney Park. When we made the interlocal agreement to build the new schools and to trade land, the agreement with the Miami-Dade School Board is that they would replace every item that came from the original Cagney Park, one for one. The baseball field, the softball field, the press box, the volleyball courts, the basketball courts, the handball court, one for one. at the full cost of the Miami-Dade County School Board. 100% was at their cost. After the schools were built, my understanding is the school board asked for a delay in fulfilling their contractual obligations because the economy had turned down in 2008 to 2010. But they were going to prioritize it to replace our school or our facilities, including the Gribble Pool, 1 for 1. Then politicians on this council, none of you were sitting there at the time, wanted to play around with the design and become park designers and decided they wanted something different and wanted something else. The $5 million that was coming to Rex Park was going to be a icing on the cake. It was something on top, an extra money that we could redirect because Rex Park wasn't going to be developed. But you should be holding the Miami-Dade County School Board 100% accountable for the replacement of every single item that they agreed to. I've been called upon numerous times over the last 14 years for historical knowledge on the agreement since I was the one who helped write it. And it was a partnership. But from what I understand and the way that the school board is treating the council and treating the management is that it's our land, we do what we want with it.
Mr.
But that's
Burns,
not the
if I
agreement.
allow you to go above, I got to do the same with
Thank
everybody
you. So
else.
support this
Thank you.
resolution, and it's a shame that our county commissioner has delayed it this long. Thank you very much.
Thank you.